drink for you and a drink for me. Salute. Did we forget to mention, welcome back to Livin Our Vision. This is our cheers, our salute to finally getting ready to leave Florida. Most people don't say, yes, I can't wait to leave Florida. They're usually, can't wait to go to Florida. But we've been here so long and we've been stuck, sheltered in place in this park for a while now. We are ready to go.
So grab your favorite beverage and hope you enjoy the video. We're set to leave a week from now, and we've been in this same park for 6 weeks, sheltered in place.
Yep.
As many people have.
Too long.
Too long. We are champing at the bit.
It was nice at first, not having to rush and on the weekends to go somewhere.
Relaxing.
But that got old really quick. We did this so we can explore, daggone it.
Yeah.
And we want to explore, so we're ready to go. Our plans kind of got messed up a little bit. We were supposed to originally go up to Virginia first, and that campground closed. We kind of waited it out a while, and we had to replan everything and reorganize. We got some new plans ahead.
New plans.
New plans. Who's Stan? Okay. When this sheltering in place first started, we were over in Winter Garden RV Resort. It's an Encore. It was a little bit dated. It wasn't too bad. It all depends on, like a lot of parks, and it depends on where you're camping there.
It actually had a pretty good location because it's smack dab in kind of a business district, so there was tons of restaurants and stores, like grocery stores and
RV dealerships. There was one RV dealership in particular that we were making a point to go to. We chickened out
because of the COVID. I mean, it literally had just blew up all at that time, and so we were like, well, maybe we better not.
Right, and it was located pretty much next door, so that was a real bummer.
Yeah.
While we were staying there, we decided to get out in the car and leave one day just to drive around, since we couldn't, go exploring anywhere where there's other people. And we went just down the block to downtown Winter Garden.
Oh yeah, I forgot. That was a cute little area.
Nobody's practicing social distancing there.
Yeah.
We were, to our surprise, there were still people walking around and biking through the area there. They had a farmer's market that day.
Yeah.
We missed it. We wouldn't have got out and went to it anyway. So we just kind of drove up and down the streets of Winter Garden and kind of checked it out and just stared at everything like a kid at a candy shop that can't have the candy. It was a really neat little area, though. Very pretty.
So if you find yourself around Winter Garden, make sure you check out that little downtown area, because they have a lot of cute little cafes and restaurants and little boutiques and a little bit of historical places, but it really did look cute.
From there, we went just down the road a little bit, probably a mile down, I would say, to Lake Apopka. We decided to come down to Lake Apopka, which is really close to the Winter Garden RV Resort where we're staying here in Winter Garden. And we didn't know a lot of the history about this lake, and we were looking it up. It used to be the bass fishing hotspot of the eastern coast, and at one time. And then in the 70s, the phosphorus levels got so high that it completely covered the entire lake with algae, and therefore depleting the oxygen levels and killed all the fish. And it became known as the Dead Lake. Obviously now there's no algae covering the lake, and we're seeing minnows and a few fish here and there. They said the population of the alligators used to be counted like 1,500 at one time, and now, closer to today, they've only counted 200. It gave us kind of a day of nature.
Right, yeah, because we felt like, being in that business district area, not really being able to go to the state park or anything like that, that was probably the closest we could get.
Well, after that, we came here, Thousand Trails, Orlando, and we've pretty much spent every single weekend just staying right here in the park. Well, we did, not pretty much, we did.
Yeah.
And we just walked around a lot, twice a day pretty much.
She never walks as fast, but she sees sandhill cranes and she's like gone.
We're taking a little bit of time today, and we're going through all of our cabinets, our drawers, our closet. We're going through everything and trying to downsize even more, so then when we do get back to our old homestay, we may have a garage sale. We're going to try to eliminate even more stuff. Michelle's going through the closet. Wowzers. Downsizing in case we can talk Michelle into that van. Think we can talk Michelle into that van? No? She still says no. Here you go. Here. Oh boy, that good stuff. What's that one? Hey, doesn't mean you can take my chair too. This is what we do for fun now. You're our pet squirrel. And if he bites any of our wires, he's gonna be our supper. Okay, I'm just kidding. Yay! Good job! On top of that, we decided to get some pickleball paddles and some pickleballs. We went on Amazon and ordered some pickleball paddles. We don't know a lot about pickleball paddles, but maybe some of you guys do. And we did some research and didn't want to buy those real expensive ones. Probably should have. That way they would last and you'd get the best play out of them. But we went with this brand. And I don't know, New Peepo? I don't know. But don't seem too bad. They seem like they got a really small, what they call sweet spot. It's like a really small area right above the little face here. That's the one thing that so far that I've noticed that I don't really like, but I don't know if my review really counts because, or my opinion counts because I don't know a lot about these. I just was reading about some of these paddles and the
They swat at bugs.
sweet spots they had in that, and we're gonna go play for a little bit. Gives us something else to do here while we're waiting for
Travel.
to travel. We're ready. And it makes a good bee swatter.
Yes. Had to Google the rules because we had played like maybe once or twice a whole year ago when we were in Palm Springs, California. And we kept saying all along, we need to get our own paddles so we can play this game.
Yeah, ever since then.
Ever since, an entire year later, we finally got them.
And when she says once or twice we played, mind you, that was like a 5 or 10 minute session, and it consisted of chasing balls.
So we've been practicing that, I guess you could say, just ourselves playing in the evenings lately. So.
Okay, I'm done. You done?
Yeah, I'm done. Good job.
It's not 5 minutes.
It's more like 15.
Why didn't you join us for a game? Huh?
Get on the road, mister.
Hey, that'll be $5 for parking.
We can maybe, if we continue that routine, maybe play with other people once we can, actually be around other people. Please
can
play
you come
with
out
us.
to play? Before we were at Winter Garden, we did meet my cousin over in Clearwater Beach.
Yeah.
Down here in Clearwater Beach, gonna meet my cousin. And that was way before all the scare with the COVID-19. Met my cousin and her friend, set up at the top there, and got to see the sunset.
It was beautiful.
It was nice. Had a really nice conversation. In the meantime, we've been thinking about where we're going to go, and we've kind of been waiting to see where we can go, and if we're going to be able to continue to go up the East Coast.
Right.
So now we started to do some planning, which brings us to the apps. We kept hearing about RV Trip Wizard, and so we decided to just fork out the money and get it. We'll have to say it did help quite a bit on planning the trip.
Yep. And how much is that again?
I don't know.
It's $39 annually?
And you asked me?
Well, I thought maybe you would say. I didn't realize you didn't remember. It's $39 annually, though, right?
Correct.
That's an annual payment.
I don't know. You know. You tell them.
Well, when you said we forked out the money.
I just know we paid for it. I don't remember how much it was. I just paid. Doing a little intermission here to make a couple more drinks. And one other thing I wanted to bring up and make sure you knew about is RV Trip Wizard never did this before, but right now, as of the filming of this video, they are including their GPS app and their campground app in the RV Life app. So when you download the RV Life app, It's also going to have your trips in there from RV Trip Wizard that you've planned. Plus, it's going to integrate with their GPS app and their campground app. So that's a pretty good deal, because I think that was in itself was a $49 value. Just wanted to be sure that you knew about that, because that's something that's very new and it's been unannounced. Before we purchased RV Trip Wizard, and I'm going to go here to my app so that I won't forget, what we would do is we would use Truck Maps. On Truck Map, you put all your RV dimensions in there, and then it takes you on the safest route so you don't hit any low bridges. So we'd use that route, and then we would take All Stays and Harvest Host. We would use that as well, and then we would plan all of our stops in between. I like to think of it kind of like a glass mason jar, and you take that mason jar and you fill it full of marbles, and it's full all the way with marbles. And you ask, does that look full? Well, yeah, it's full. It's all the way full with marbles. Then you take your sand and you pour the sand in. Pour that sand all the way to the top. Does that look full? And you would think, well, yeah, it's full. All the gaps are filled. Mm-hmm. Well, then you take water, and somehow water fits in there too. I like to look at the marbles as being your main destinations where you're going to go. So that's what I consider the marbles, the big to-dos. After you get your main place, you want to select, where your stops are going to be in between. So that's your sand. With the RV Trip Wizard, now you put in your main destination, which is Des Moines for us on this one, and it will automatically route you with the dimensions of your RV, just like Truck Maps does. But then if you download RV Life app, then you can also find your RV Trip Wizard route planning there. You'll be able to see it there, and you'll be able to use the GPS on RV Life. Going back to the stops in between, so if you want to stop at Harvest Host or whatever, and I don't think RV Trip Wizard does not show the Harvest Hosts, but if you take your Harvest Host app and you look at the route that RV Trip Wizard has, and you look along the interstate, you can take one of the Harvest Host places and type that in the search in RV Trip Wizard, and then you can add it to your trip. And it's really slick how it works. Yeah. So all those places in between is your sand. Your water, I consider, is all those gems that you find along your way. So that's my analogy of planning the trip. You've got your destination planned, you've got all of your in-between stops all planned out, and then the water is just going to flow as you go. I just made that up. Hey, I like that.
Flow as you go.
I love that. Shell and I was kind of joking around the other day, and we were like, well, what would be our initials since we have one word? LRV, Livin Our Vision. Not our.
And then, of course, the comedian says, I love you.
I love you.
We love this lifestyle.
We love camping.
I'm starting to get tongue twisted. We're from Southern Iowa originally, and if you don't know Southern Iowa, we do have a little bit of a southern twang to us. I don't know why. It's way up there. Missouri and Southern Iowa, we all have that southern, I don't know.
But anyway.
With the RV Trip Wizard, it really does make things really simple to have it all planned out like that and have all your stops.
Because, sorry, I'm just going to interrupt a second. But it does include, like, your Flying J's, your Loves. It has the rest stops. It has RPI, Good Sam's.
Yeah, if there's anything that's not on the app, like if you have another app, like I was saying with the Harvest Host, all you got to do is go to those, like the Harvest Host app, and see if they have any Harvest Hosts along that pathway, and then type in the name of one of them. Like if it's a winery, ABC Winery, just type ABC Winery in RV Trip Wizard, and it'll find it. Right. So I'm not sure why it doesn't automatically put it on there. And I did look, because it has filters off to the side where you can select all your points of interest, and I did not see Harvest Host over there. Maybe that's something that they'll add in later. The good thing is it will find them if you type those in, but everything else is pretty much there. So you can go off to the right-hand side and pick your points of interest of things that you want to stop, your Cracker Barrels, and it'll show up on there. So we're going to try to give a variety of different places that we're going to stop. So be sure to check out that video when it comes up when we take this long trip. We're going to include some Harvest Hosts.
And we'll see, since this is the first time that we've used RV Trip Wizard, we'll see how it really does as far as getting us, because you have put in all of our motorhome measurements and everything, so it should not be taking us under any low clearance bridges that we wouldn't fit. So hopefully that is true, and then we'll be like, why have we not been using this the entire last year and a half?
Even before, we totally did not care for co-pilot. It kept taking us on the wrong roads.
Three times we would at least
run it in the background just to see if it agreed with like truck maps or even Google Maps.
Right.
Google Maps, we like to use it too at the same time just to see if it routed us differently than truck maps did. Use the GPS on there and also use truck maps GPS as a secondary at the same time, and just you know, that's the best way to see how they actually work. We're not going to tell you where we're going from Des Moines yet, but that's where we're going first, and we're going to visit family. We'll be there for a short time, and then we're going to move on.
Where are we going?
And we have 2 alternating directions.
That's right.
We may change our mind and go the other direction. We're not sure yet.
We're like this.
We actually have 3 plans, if you think about it, that we can change. And always remember that. You can always change your itinerary, even with Thousand Trails. If you make reservations, don't feel that you're stuck with that.
Well, the only thing is, obviously, some places you might have to cancel at least 48 hours to 24 hours ahead of time if you don't want to get a penalty, other than Thousand Trails.
Right. Thousand Trails, you're okay. You can make your reservations, just set your reservations in place, and that way you have something. Kind of takes some of that worry away from you.
Yeah.
And then if you change your plans, just go in, cancel it, and make your other reservations.
Right.
Some of our top apps that we wanted to share with you. First, we have the All Stays app.
It pretty much will tell you if there's Walmarts to overnight, Cracker Barrels.
Oh, that's good enough.
Yeah.
I want to know where there's a Walmart.
Cracker Barrel. I mean, it has Costco's, Good Sam's.
Yeah.
It has your rest areas. You basically use it for places that you can overnight or get fuel or dump.
It was full.
Or
Yeah,
water.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it has pretty much everything.
It's a wealth of information in one little app.
Right.
We have RV Parky, which we have not used that very much.
No.
It kind of is very similar to All Stays.
And then, of course, Harvest Host app. We like using that. We like to try to find a harvest host along the way. We haven't used it a lot, but we do enjoy it. It's nice to, when you're going on your trip, don't feel like you have to stay on the same path. Go ahead and go off the path a little bit. Check out a place, you know. Stay the night at one of these harvest hosts. You might have to go 20 miles off the interstate, but it's well worth it.
Yeah.
Some of these places that you find, it's just these little hidden gems.
Yeah.
Don't feel like you have to hurry and stay on path to get somewhere. You're gonna enjoy your trip so much better.
And those of you that don't know what Harvest Host is, most of it, well, I believe it started out with a lot of wineries that offer an overnight stay for free.
It's not just wineries, you
No.
know. You do have distilleries. You do have, you know, alcohol. It's not just alcohol.
Right.
You have museums. You have farms. You have golf courses now that just got added. There's all sorts of different things. I mean, I've even seen a National Quilt Museum, organic food farms. The Blue Heron was really neat up in Oregon. Some of these places do have some hookups, though. Usually if they have hookups, they will charge something. They just, you know, expect you to come in their store, buy something.
The Harvest Host app, it will have reviews right on there of people that have stayed there. We'll also show the requirements, because like some golf courses will require that you actually play a round of golf in order to stay there. Not all, some.
Yeah.
The museums, of course, they're going to show you their hours of when the museum is open, and then what the cost is to go into the museum, and then it'll specify where you can park your rig.
Pay attention to those comments, because people leave reviews. And if you go to any of these, leave a review yourself, because it really helps everybody.
Right.
That's what we go to first when we're looking at it, because you scroll down to the reviews and they'll tell you if it's level, if they had any problems. Sometimes they'll say bring extra blocks. I needed 6 blocks to get it level. Some, you know, will tell you it's very easy to get around. On the app also, you can filter out how big your rig is, so you won't pull up any Harvest Host place that you know, is only 40 foot or under or whatever.
It will also have the contact information that you definitely need to call and ask if you can stay the night, basically. Just mention that you're part of Harvest Host, because a lot of these places may only have 1 or 2 sites available. So, you know, that's very small. You want to make sure that they don't have anybody else already taken that spot.
Right.
But it just reminded me of the time that we were in South Dakota at that winery.
Oh, yes.
And even though it actually said in the app that it could take a 40-foot.
I wouldn't want to go in there with a motorhome pulling a toad, because, you know, you can't really back up very well with a toad. You have to go really slow, but maneuvering, you would have to disconnect.
But if we had really wanted to stay there, we would have called ahead of time, and Brian would have talked to them and mentioned, okay, we have a motorhome, we are pulling a dolly, and in that conversation, that would have came out.
iOverlander, we have not used that yet. We did download that. We're going to check into that because we do have some plans that we really would like to start doing a little bit more boondocking once in a while. We've got a lot of ideas coming up. Another app is Reserve America. We stayed in our first Corps of Engineers park when we went to Iowa last year in
July and August and September.
That was our first experience, and it was a very pleasant experience. Very nice campgrounds. Yep. And if you're ever in the Des Moines, Iowa area, we highly recommend going to Saylorville Lake. And the best campground that we found there out of all of them around the lake was Prairie Flower. This campground is really nice. It really is. Except for one thing. No sewer hookup. You have to go to the dump station. But other than that, it's pretty nice. You have your electric, 30 amp, 50 amp. You just had to go to the dump station to empty your tanks. And they weren't very expensive. Do you remember how much they were?
I think it was only $14 a night.
Yeah, it's very reasonable. Yeah. And again, they're nice. They're reasonably priced. Not all of them are going to be $14, I'm sure. But that was an option for us, because when we went to Iowa, it was during the Iowa State Fair. It was a bad time to go without reservations. Yeah. We tried to make reservations a little bit in advance, and they were already full. So we got lucky. We got into the Corps of Engineers there at Prairie Flower, and they didn't even have a spot open. So what they did, they put us in the overflow, these big circles. Still had hookups there, which we would have just stayed right there in the overflow. But we waited for a site to open, and then we moved from the overflow over to a site. That worked out really well. Yeah,
we had to move a couple times just to within the same campground, just a couple sites. And that was, that was just because of the state fair going on, and people had it booked
for the weekend. It was because the weekends were booked. The campground reviews, I used to use like Campendium and campgroundreviews.com, but what I'm really liking with this RV Life app, this app gives you also not only the GPS and your planned trips, but it also gives campground reviews. I like where you can pick the filters. You can go through and look for your full hookups, your price range if you'd like to, big rig access. You go down through here and you can just put a check mark beside any of the items that you would like to either omit or see. And having all of this in one app is really nice, and we're excited to use it some more here and get a feel for it. It always takes some time to get used to any app that you're first using, but from what we've seen, we're really liking this. So if you're looking for Trip Wizard on an app, it won't be there. You have to download RV Life. So you download that app, and then when you're into the RV Life app, you will see that Trip Wizard is in there. We're excited to finally get out of here. When this shelter in place first started, we were like, this is kind of nice and relaxing finally.
Oh my gosh.
First 3 weeks, it was really nice, and then it was like, okay, I'm ready. Yeah. I've had enough.
And like I said earlier, he's gone to the grocery store. I didn't even get out of the campground until the day we got in the car, left the campground just to drive down the street and turn around and come back, just so that I could see another view.
Well, we did go to Walmart the other day. She went with me.
But I stayed in the car.
She stayed in the car. Thought we'd come up to the Walmart parking lot and see how many people's here. Doubt if we go in unless it's like hardly anybody there, then we'll get a couple things that we may need, but otherwise we're just getting out of the campgrounds, taking a little cruise. Yeah. At least we feel like we're getting out of prison.
Yeah.
I looked over to the left and the Walmart liquor store was packed. People always seem to find time for liquor.
Priorities.
Anyway, it was kind of funny. Priorities during the... They didn't care if there was shelter in place or not. I'm getting my liquor. I love my liquor. It was nice for a while. Now we're ready to move on.
Yeah, it's getting old.
Anyway, that being said...
Grab your beverage.
Grab your beverage. Salute.
Salute. I love you.
I love you too. We love you.
We love you.
Gosh, I love that.
Hopefully that was recording the entire time.
That was. Nope.
Yeah. I love you too.
Cut. If you love this video, give it a thumbs up. Lovely Sunday morning in the full-time RV living life that we enjoy so much, and we just got through making bacon at the grill. I'm gonna put the grill away now. We was making bacon, and see you in our next video.
Let's call it a day.